Hello, welcome to my channel Conscious Growing. I'm Matthias, and in today's video I want to share the very simple mechanics of the nervous system and what's actually going on in the nervous system and how it responds to chronic symptoms. And you might be aware already that your very reactions and your thoughts have a great impact on your well-being. And when it comes to the point that you are having chronic conditions, then it's quite likely that it's for sure related to the nervous system. And the longer you're in there, the more habits can established in a negative way. So what is going on actually? There is your conscious mind and there's your subconscious mind. And when you end up in a hypersensitive state with all these states like fight or flight or even freeze state, it's naturally that you are frightened and that you have worried thoughts. And these kind of habits, they might be very old, or for sure they are. And now, when it comes to these conditions, we start to hang in this loop. So the loop is, okay, I feel a symptom. It's related to the thought, oh, there's something dangerous going on. It feels horrible, terrible. Then the interpretation of this very things starts to continue. And then you get more sensitive and more alert. And then more thoughts in this direction follow. And you get more excited. And the more excited you get, the more hyper alert your nervous system is. And the more exciting you get, the more you're looking for a solution to solve it. And then the thoughts are maybe even racing faster. And these very racing thoughts trying to find a solution. And the solution will never come from there, because this is this very part in us that is responsible for the symptoms themselves. And so all the information is in the subconscious. And many of us asking ourselves, how can we convince the subconscious to trust us that we are safe now, that we're in a safe environment, that there's no danger, that there's no threat. And sometimes our rational minds understands and sees here is no threat, but the subconscious is still operating like as if there is one. And in this situation, we're usually habitually fueling the negative sensations, interpret them, and this makes it all worse. And that's the reason why we can't leave this cycle. And then usually crazy symptoms come up, and they create anxiety symptoms in the body. But these anxiety symptoms, they are just caused by these thoughts, these negative thoughts, catastrophic thoughts, and also the reactions. So we are there with our full attention, we have these thoughts, and these reactions are all confirming the subconscious that there's a threat, because our very reaction is like as if there's a threat the whole day through. And these kind of habits keep these symptoms going. And most of us try to find a direct solution, a mean that is fixing this terrible pains or these terrible sensations in the body. And the solution lies in the way of how we react, because here is a dialogue between the conscious and the subconscious mind. And the conscious mind has to overtake the subconscious mind. And how can we do it? How can we train this? We can train that, for example, there is a negative thought coming up, like, I never recover. When you see this, usually for people who suffer with chronic symptoms for a while already, they have this repetitive thought pattern, especially this just mentioned one. How can I ever recover? Will I ever recover? Or even worse, I will never recover. And this is the information the subconscious has and gives. And because this thought is so often used, the subconscious mind thinks, okay, I have to repeat this energy because it seems to be important. Because you have to see the subconscious mind is not very clever. It's just there for survival. And it produces these kind of emotions and these kinds of thoughts we use most often. And so if you think every other day, oh, this will never end and I will never get rid of it, and then the subconscious saves this information and repeats it for you because it thinks it's important. And so these neural pathways are connected. The brain, the subconscious produces these thoughts and emotions and creates direct symptoms. And if we respond in the habitual way, we keep this energy alive. So the only thing we can do is to learn to react differently on them. And it means, like, one of the main things is don't buy the thought. Learn not to buy this thought. let's stay in this example. I can never recover. I will never recover. This means this has such a down energy in it. And this is filled with despair and frustration and fear, anxiety. And if we are able to isolate the very thought and the emotional reaction and the reaction of thought. So let's say um, while you're on this recovery journey, you had this specific thought you had 100 times, 1,000 times, who knows, many, many times. So when you see this thought coming up again, and you're able to just see the thought and nothing else. You don't add your habitual emotion. You stay neutral. You can practice this to stay neutral. And in the beginning it will be very hard because the pattern itself will try to act in its habitual way. But if you are able to just see the thought for what it is, without emotion and without adding more thoughts, this sentence, "I will never recover," has no meaning. It's just a sentence. It's nothing more than the sentence, "The sun is shining. I go shopping. I visit my grandmother." It has no meaning. And so this is what we can learn from this, what we have to learn from it. Because these physical symptoms are just habits. The thoughts around, just habits. The reactions on them, just habits from the past for some reason. And we don't even need to grab in the past. We don't need to understand why it's all happening. But it depends on how we react now. Because here's the thing. First of all, if you have ruled out all um, all the medical things like blood tests and MRIs and whatever you have done, and if you have the feeling, I have ruled out everything on the medical level, then you see that this is that just your brain is causing these kinds of symptoms. And then you can start to do this inner work to desensitize your nervous system and to really work with yourself, work on yourself to calm down again. Because then you know these symptoms are unpleasant, they can be terrible at times. But with this kind of understanding, you see, I'm the one who produced them, and I'm the one who still produces them. And I'm the only one who's able to stop this, to stop fueling them. But in the meantime, you will still have to stand these flare-ups. You will have to stand the unpleasant sensations. And it's good not to run away from them. Distraction is okay if it's meaningful, no problem. This is also a message of safety, and this is teaching something to your brain that you are safe and that you are doing something meaningful. It will not do any harm to the subconscious. The only problem is the response on symptoms as mentioned. And so, in other words, you take away the energy from these subconscious behaviors because you don't feel them anymore. And this is the key, because if you spend less attention, if you pay less attention to the symptoms and also to your emotions, when you are doing this, then it loses its grip, and you will start to relax more because you're not so engaged to try to get rid of, try to fight, and see anxiety in the body as something that's going to kill you. It will not, for sure not. But as long as we are in this kind of beliefs, I also think nothing can help. There's no medication that can help. It can help to. It can be some sort of a bridge, maybe for some people. I don't know. I never used medications in this process, but I would not. I'm not the one who says it's absolutely no option. But what I know and what I'm pretty convinced is that medication by itself can't fix it, can't fix a problem. This will never work. And so it's two things. How do I react at one point? How is my reaction? And am I fueling the sensation with my thoughts, or can I be more neutral or shift my attention to something else? So let's say these kind of sensations, they are there in the background, and you tell your subconscious, okay, look, you can be here. I give you full permission to be here, because this is another point. If I trying to avoid it, if I trying to get rid of it and don't want to feel it, it will get bigger and bigger because you push it away. So this is a subtle thing, to allow it to be there fully with all the energy behind. Then you are opening up for the various sensations. But then, on the other hand, your response. And these two components, they make the difference with time. And again, it's a way of practicing. Who is running the show in your life? Is it your scared subconscious mind? Or is it your conscious mind that has to accept also that you are in this situation right now? You fully accept it. I'm here right now. I have these sensations. They come and go. Sometimes there are periods they don't go away. It's unpleasant. Maybe they are there all day long. But really check into your patterns and see how much you fuel them and how do you respond. And if you create a kind of welcoming environment, but also at the same time not get caught up, then you can make progress. This is totally obvious to me, and this is where I'm at right now. And it's a interesting journey because you learn so much about yourself, and you retrain yourself to become your own master again and not ruled by your moods, by your sensations. And yeah, so this is it for today. I hope it makes some sense for you guys out there, and I hope that you can use it as a reminder on your path, and maybe it's an invitation for you to practice it and use it to go through your day and um, empower yourself. This is the underlying message in it. So if you're interested in more content like this, subscribe and thumbs up and send it to someone who might need it today. So wishing you a good day, and we see you soon. Bye bye.